68,300. Should have multiplied this first. Right? All right. I know you've done this lesson in the past, but it's a big one. And you're going to use this forever. This is one of the most important rules in math, and that's the order of operations. The order of operations is this. It is whenever you have more than one thing to do. If I have 12 plus 6 times 4, or, I've got more than one thing in a string of things to do, it's what order do you do them in? Because it is not always from left to right. Not always. For example, if I have 2 plus 3 times 4, this is not 24. Sorry, this is not 20. The answer to this question is not 20. Do you all know that? How many of you would have said 20? Yeah. The answer to this is not 20. The answer is, in fact, 24. Can anybody tell me why it's 24? Why is it 24? So you guys don't know the order of operations. Okay. Why, Jared, is it 24?
Because 2 plus 3 equals 6. And then
2 plus 3 does not equal 6.
3 times 4 equals 12. Then 12 plus 2 equals
12 times 2.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. I'll explain. The order of operations says this. I'll put it back up here. 2 plus 3 times 4. That's our question. The order of operations says this. Whenever you have a string of things to do, you do things in a specific order. And it's not always left to right. Here's the order. You look for, in the order of operations, you look for parentheses first. Anytime you see any parentheses, you do that first. After that, you look for exponents. You haven't really dealt with that yet. You won't deal with that for a little bit, but just know that that's the next step. That's the next thing in the order to do, okay? After that, you look for multiply or divide. Then you look for add and subtract. This is the order of operations. Everybody write that down. Write my little chart there down. Just like the way I have it. Gotta have it written down. You need to have this memorized because from now on, you will use it. And you will not ever need to write this down again. You're just going to know the order of operations. You guys might need to write it down for the next little bit, but then after that, you're going to have it memorized. Did you all get it written down? What is the first thing you look for in any string of things? What's the first thing you look for? What's it called? Parentheses, right? You look for parentheses. After you look for parentheses, once they're all done, then you look for, what's this thing called? Exponents. Make sense? After that, you look for multiply and divide. Then you do your adding and subtracting. We'll talk about it in a minute. I'll show you in a little bit, but just that is the order. Okay? So here we go. Knowing that we have our order here, let's go through our little question over here, the one that we did before. The first thing you look for is parentheses. Do you see any parentheses in our question here? Is there any parentheses here? No. Do you see any exponents there? No. Do you see any multiply or divide? Yes. Do you all know that another way of writing multiply is to go 2 plus 3 dot 4? Did you know that?
Yes.
The dot also means times. Dylan, are you paying attention? I need you to. I need you to pay attention. The dot also means times. So I could have written it either way. It's the same thing. Okay? I see a multiplication in this string. That means that I have to do that before I do anything else. So watch what I do. I go like this. I bring it down. What is 3 times 4? 12. I bring that down and bring down the rest. What is now, all we have left is 2 plus 12. You were right. 2 plus 12 is 14. 14. Not 20. Most of you would have done this first. That would have been wrong because you are going out of order. Make sense? Okay. Let me do another one for you. Let me show you another one. Ooh. All right. Another question. Let's try... in this question, in this one, let's go through the order. Do you see any parentheses? No. Okay. Do you see any exponents? No. Okay. Do you see any multiply or divide?
Yes.
Yes. In fact, you see both. This is where, when you get to this step here, where you have multiplying and dividing, or really on any step, if you ever have one that there's more than one of that thing, more than one of that tier, right? Here's tier 1, tier 2, tier 2. We have more than one multiply and divide. Which one do you do first? Multiply or divide? Which one do you do first? This is where you go left to right. Since they are equal to each other. Multiply and divide are equal to each other. Therefore, this is where you go from left to right. Does that make sense? So here, the next, you're going to go like this. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Now that I'm done with that, let's rewrite everything else. And we go, okay, 4 times 3 is 12. 3 plus 12. Now we only have addition left. We go 3 plus 12 is 15. Does that make sense? Okay. Watch this one here. Let's check this one out. 30 divided by So here's the deal. Here's our deal. Let's look. What do we look for first? Parentheses. Do you see any parentheses? Yes. So you go, okay, I have to every step along the way, it should be rewritten. And it should start to make a big giant funnel like this. Okay? The first one is 6 minus 1. It's parentheses. What is 6 minus 1? 5. Since it's the only thing in that parentheses, the parentheses goes away. It disappears. 6 minus 1 is 5. Bring down everything else. 30 divided by times 2. Do you see any other parentheses? Do you see any exponents? Right, we're going down the list, right? Parentheses, exponents. Then multiply or divide. Do you see any multiply or divide? Yes. I see both. Which one do I do first?
Right.
It's left to right, just like you're reading. Left to right. It happens to be divide this time. What is 30 divided by 5?
6.
6 times 2, right? Times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Make sense? Okay. Notice it should start funneling down. That's how it works. Start rewriting it every time. Let's see here. What else do we got? What about... well, what if I have this? Just something simple. 17 minus 10 plus 4. Kind of an easy one, but okay, you always start at the top. Do I see any parentheses? No. Do I see any exponents? No. Any multiply or divide? No. Which one do I do first then? Now it's only add and subtract. Which one's more important, add or subtract? They are equal to each other, just like multiply and divide. They are equal to each other, right? Therefore, you simply go left to right. Does that make sense? 17 minus 10 is 7. Bring down this, 11. Make sense? Okay. How much time we got? I'm going to give you a few question little quiz. It won't count. We'll just see if you know it. And then we'll go from there. Little 3-question quiz. We'll see if you can get it. You can do this on your homework page. It doesn't matter, right over there in the work section. I don't care. You don't have to waste paper, whatever. This is just like a little practice quiz to see if you know how to do it. Here we go. The first one. You look for parentheses. Do you see any? Do you see any parentheses in number 1? No. You're all paying attention up here now, right? It's like a little quiz. You're learning. No. Do you see any exponents? No. Do you see any multiply or divide? Yes. Do the division first then. 36 divided by 12 is 3. Rewrite it. 16 plus 3 is 19. Yes? You see that it makes a funnel, right? It should start to get... I would do that. Number 2. Do you see any parentheses? Yes. 7 plus 5 is 12. Bring down everything else. 14 minus 12 times 2. Do you see any other parentheses? Do you see any exponents? Do you see any multiply or divide? Yes. 12 times 2 is 24. Wait. Did they do negatives here? Did I write that wrong? 1 second. Shh. Oh, I did write it wrong. It doesn't matter. Okay, anyway, this is something you're going to have to deal with very soon. But 14 minus 24. Does anybody realize where that happened? What happens to that? It goes into the negatives, right? We'll be dealing with that soon enough. Trust me. But it does go into the negatives. The answer would be negative 10. Did anybody here get negative 10 as the answer for number 2? Who got negative 10? Okay. That means that you had some concept of what negatives are. That's fine. We'll deal with that later for the rest of you. Number 3. Do you see any parentheses? Any exponents? I'm going to start over. I'm going to talk to you guys about this really quick. For number 3, do you see any parentheses? No. Oh, that was a lot of you. Oh, you guys must get this more than I thought you did. Do you see any exponents? No. Do you see any multiply or divide? Yes. There's a couple of multiplies. Which one do I do first? Left to right, just like you're reading, right? $15 times 10 is $150. Bring the rest down, plus $30 times 2. $30 times 2 is $60. Not $600, $60. Add them together, $210. This is where you would have to have the dollar sign because it was talking about dollars. How many of you put $210? How many people forgot the dollar sign? That's what I thought. Don't forget the dollar sign on your homework. I'll mark it wrong. Okay? All right, I think you guys are going to be just fine. Your homework.